It's unloaded now!
Combine channel's really picking up. They know you're coming.
There was a time when FPS games meant sitting back with a controller and watching chaos unfold on a screen. Not anymore. In VR, you are the one cracking open the chamber. You are the one leaning around corners, steadying your aim, and feeling enemies close the distance in real space. And in 2026, solo VR shooters are hitting harder than ever. These are full-scale adventures built to pull you in and not let go. Let's get into it.
Here we go.
Resident Evil 4 VR Remake. The moment you step out of that police car and the cold European air surrounds you, it hits differently. In VR, you're not guiding Leon anymore. You're standing in that muddy village yourself, scanning tree lines, hearing crows scatter, and dreading what's waiting inside that first cabin. Resident Evil 4 on PlayStation VR 2 transforms the 2023 remake into a full first-person survival horror experience. The core story remains intact. Leon S. Kennedy is sent to a remote European village to rescue the president's daughter, only to uncover a cult infected by the parasitic Las Plagas. Political conspiracy, bioorganic horror, and that perfect mix of tension and campy charm are all here. But VR reshapes the fear. When a villager charges, he's not running at a character on screen. He's rushing straight at you. Reloading becomes manual if you choose. Eject the magazine, grab another from your chest rig, slam it in. Chamber the round. Panic becomes physical. Knife parries feel immediate. Finishers are brutal and up close. Even the scale of environments stands out. Narrow hallways feel claustrophobic. The village square feels overwhelming. Smooth tracking, performance stability, and comfort options make it surprisingly accessible. If you thought you knew Leon's mission inside out, VR makes it feel dangerously new all over again. Half-Life Alyx. Before Gordon Freeman ever picked up a crowbar in City 17, the Resistance already had a beating heart. And that heart was Alyx Vance, fighting a war most people were too terrified to even acknowledge. Half-Life Alyx takes place between the original Half-Life and Half-Life 2, placing you in the role of Alyx as humanity struggles under the authoritarian grip of the Combine. Earth is occupied, cities are fenced in, scientists are monitored, hope is fragile. Alongside her father, Eli Vance, Alyx works within a covert resistance, scavenging alien tech and searching for a breakthrough that could weaken their oppressors. In VR, this story breathes. You physically lean around shattered walls to line up your shots. You rummage through abandoned apartments for resin upgrades and shotgun shells. Gravity gloves let you flick objects into your palm from across a room, making every interaction tactile and deliberate. Headcrabs do not just jump at you, they latch onto your face and you must rip them off with your own hands. Combat is tense and calculated. Ammo is scarce. Reloading is manual. Beyond the campaign, community-built levels through Source 2 extend the world endlessly. If you want a VR FPS where story, atmosphere, and immersion feel inseparable, Alyx still stands at the top.
Step into the void.
Metro Awakening. Can you imagine waking up beneath a dead city where the air itself wants you gone? Every breath is filtered through cracked glass and rubber, and the only light you trust is the one you crank by hand. Metro Awakening is a prequel to Metro 2033, built exclusively for VR and released in 2024. You step into the role of Serdar, a doctor navigating the irradiated Moscow subway in search of his missing wife. The tunnels are haunted by mutants and hostile survivors. They are infected with fear, paranoia, and the slow decay of humanity itself. The narrative, written by Metro creator Dmitry Gluskovsky, keeps things deeply personal. This is not a grand military campaign. It is a desperate journey through plague, darkness, and psychological strain. Survival mechanics are fully physical. You check your backpack manually. You wipe condensation and grime off your gas mask. You swap air filters under pressure while something growls in the dark. Even your flashlight needs to be charged with a hand pump. Combat feels grounded and raw. Revolver-style shotguns, crossbows, and makeshift weapons demand steady hands and nerve. On PlayStation VR 2, adaptive triggers and headset haptics amplify every shot and impact. Quest 3 holds up impressively, while PCVR delivers the sharpest visuals. Across all platforms, the immersion is relentless.
I welcome thee to a new world, where my sky is deceptively blue, conveying peace and prosperity, but betrays the very turmoil below.
Arken Age. There's a moment early on when you're hanging from a living vine above a glowing abyss, looking down at a world that feels half garden, half nightmare. That's when you realize this isn't just a casual VR shooter. It's a place that wants to be touched, climbed, broken, and rebuilt. Arken Age drops you into the Biochasm, a bioterraformed realm shaped by a mysterious entity known as the Grand Arborist. But the world is decaying. Hyperion's neural corruption is spreading through roots, creatures, and even machinery, twisting nature into hostile forms. Your role becomes clear fast. You are pushing back against a living infection that thinks. Weapons infused with Arkenite react to your movements. Swinging a blade, firing a crafted tool, or parrying an incoming strike feels weighty and tactile. Crafting is hands-on. You assemble and modify gear that directly changes how you approach encounters. Extensive climbing adds vertical exploration, forcing you to read terrain like a puzzle. On PlayStation VR 2, adaptive triggers and haptics intensify every strike. PCVR offers the sharpest visuals and smoothest frame rates. Quest 3 and 3S deliver a surprisingly close standalone experience. The result is a single-player adventure that feels alive in your hands.
Angry. Fight back!
It's the freaking bat! We aren't afraid of you! The bat dies tonight!
Batman Arkham Shadow VR. Gotham feels different when you are standing on a rooftop instead of watching it from behind a controller. The rain hits your cowl, sirens echo below, and somewhere in the dark, someone is about to learn what fear actually means. Batman Arkham Shadow is built exclusively for MetaQuest 3 and 3S, released in October 2024 as the flagship standalone VR experience. Set between Batman Arkham Origins and Batman Arkham Asylum, the story explores a younger, more relentless Dark Knight navigating escalating chaos in Gotham. Familiar figures like Harley Quinn and Scarecrow emerge, deepening the psychological tension that defines the Arkham universe. The striking part is how free-flow combat has been reimagined for VR. You are throwing the punches, countering incoming blows with physical timing, and chaining attacks into motion. Predator sections lean heavily into stealth. You physically peer over ledges, glide down behind enemies, and trigger takedowns at close range. Detective vision transforms environments into layered investigative spaces, making crime scenes feel interactive instead of scripted. For a standalone headset, the visuals are impressively detailed. If you want a full narrative-driven Arkham experience without wires, this delivers Gotham straight to your visor.
But what I still have to ask, tourist, is who are you? Now that the dead live forever?
The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Chapters 1 and 2. New Orleans is drowning, both in water and in desperation. Church bells ring in the distance, and you already know what that means. The herd is coming, and you are standing in the middle of it with whatever you managed to craft that morning. The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and its sequel, The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Chapter 2, Retribution, put you in the boots of the tourist, a survivor navigating a war-torn, walker-infested Louisiana. Apart from clearing zombies, it's about factions tearing each other apart. The Tower and the Reclaimed are locked in brutal conflict, and rumors of a hidden reserve full of supplies pull you deeper into moral gray zones. Every decision is yours. Help a stranger and risk your resources, or take what they have and move on. Conversations shift outcomes. Choices echo across districts. Combat is entirely physics-driven. You grab a walker, shove it back, and drive a blade into its skull. Weapons stick. You must yank them free. Guns jam if you're careless. Your backpack becomes your lifeline. Filled through scavenging, flooding homes, and ruined streets. Chapter 2 raises the stakes with the Axeman, a relentless new threat stalking you through expanded areas, including nighttime excursions that feel twice as tense. Across Quest, PCVR, and PlayStation VR 2, this remains one of the most personal, choice-driven zombie stories ever built for VR. Hitman, World of Assassination. You're standing behind a billionaire at a crowded gala. Music swells, champagne glasses clink. No one notices you adjusting your gloves. In VR, the tension isn't cinematic, it's personal. One wrong move and the entire room turns into chaos. Hitman, World of Assassination in VR brings the complete trilogy, Hitman, Hitman 2, and Hitman 3, into a fully immersive stealth experience on PlayStation VR 2 and PCVR. You are Agent 47 in first person, physically interacting with the world rather than selecting actions from a menu. Two-handed weapon handling changes everything. You steady a sniper rifle with one hand while adjusting your aim with the other. Reloading is gesture-based. You manually rack slides, swap magazines, and even close doors quietly with your own hands. Disguises are not instant transitions. On PlayStation VR 2, you physically apply them, which adds a subtle layer of immersion to infiltration. The massive 2025 update brought PC VR up to parity with the PlayStation VR 2 version, smoothing performance, improving lighting, and fixing earlier tracking and hit registration issues. Body handling feels natural now. No strange twitching, no immersion-breaking glitches. With every mission from the trilogy plus freelancer mode included, this is not a short campaign. It's a globe-trotting sandbox where creativity is your deadliest weapon.
Time is a complicated business, and you've managed to bend, if not break it. My fellow Americans.
Wanderer, Fragments of Fate. 1 second, you're standing in a dusty apartment filled with relics of a broken future. The next, you're staring at a battlefield from centuries past, holding tools that shouldn't even exist in that era. That's the rhythm of time travel when it refuses to play by the rules. Wanderer, The Fragments of Fate is a full next-gen reimagining of the original Wanderer, placing you in the role of Asher Newman. Humanity's timeline has fractured, and through a mysterious wrist device named Samuel, you jump across pivotal historical moments to rewrite events and restore balance. You're basically inhabiting history. One chapter might have you decrypting wartime messages. Another throws you into chaos of ancient sieges or even the intensity of space race. You climb cliffs, swim through submerged ruins, zipline across gaps, and carry objects between eras to solve layered puzzles. Tools collected in one century can unlock solutions in another. Combat has been overhauled with new weapons and smarter enemy behaviors, making action sequences far more involved than before. With revamped visuals, full-body avatars, mirror systems, and advanced haptics, presence is stronger than ever. This is not passive sightseeing through time. It's a hands-on rewrite of history. Into the Radius. You check the chamber twice. Safety off. Magazine seated. The map in your hand is worn and barely trustworthy, and beyond the tree line lies a zone that does not forgive mistakes. Into the Radius, VR places you inside the Pechorsky and Anomaly Zone, a distorted wasteland shaped by an unexpected catastrophe. Operating from a lonely outpost, you accept missions through a dusty UNPSC terminal before venturing into forests, industrial ruins, and crumbling towns swallowed by surreal phenomena. The story unfolds through atmosphere and discovery. Strange artifacts, ghostly remnants, and hostile entities hint at a deeper mystery buried within the Radius. Survival mechanics define the experience. You load magazines round by round, clean your firearms to prevent jamming, and attach optics or suppressors based on the mission ahead. Forget to maintain your gear and it will betray you. Realistic ballistics allow bullets to ricochet and penetrate surfaces, turning every firefight into a tactical puzzle. The day and night cycle shifts the mood dramatically. Daytime exploration lets you scout routes and mark shelters. Night forces patience, stealth, and calculated movement. Armed with only your detector, your planning, and your nerves, you step into a hostile zone that feels hauntingly alive. Population 1. You're going to be doing more than just running towards the safe zone. You're scaling a skyscraper, leaping off the edge, spreading your arms and gliding straight into a firefight from above. That vertical freedom changes everything. Population 1 is built entirely around movement that only works in VR. Set inside massive battle royale arenas, the game allows you to climb any surface and glide from any height using a wingsuit mechanic. Positioning is no longer flat and predictable. Combat happens above, below, and all around you. The core experience centers on squad-based battle royale. You and two teammates drop in, loot weapons and shields, construct cover with quick builds, and coordinate strategies using voice chat that feels immediate and spatial. Gunplay is fast and responsive, but survival depends on teamwork and mobility. Beyond standard battle royale, there's Phoenix Royale, Team Deathmatch, large-scale war mode, and legions. Sandbox opens up player-created maps with custom rules, giving the community freedom to experiment. There are even co-op bot battles and solo training options if you want to sharpen your aim. Free to play and constantly updated with events, this remains one of the most accessible and energetic VR shooters available.
The enemy had surrounded me. The only way out now was through them.
Sniper Elite VR. Last but not least, we have a game that delivers the tactile thrill of being the one bullet that shifts the battlefield. You steady your breathing, the crosshair sways ever so slightly. Wind distance, bullet drop, the patrol pattern below. Then you squeeze the trigger and watch history change in slow motion. Sniper Elite VR transports you to southern Italy in 1943, where fascist forces have occupied your homeland. Instead of following series protagonist Carl Fairburn, this standalone campaign casts you as a member of the Italian resistance, fighting back through calculated, long-range assassinations and tactical sabotage. The campaign spans 18 replayable missions filled with open-ended combat arenas. Use scout vantage points, distract guards, and plan your approach carefully. VR makes sniping intensely physical. You shoulder the rifle, manually chamber rounds, and align the scope with your own hands. Realistic ballistics demand patience. Shots account for distance and movement, making every successful hit feel earned. Authentic World War II weapons expand your toolkit. Rifles, SMGs, pistols, grenades, and explosives allow flexible strategies. And yes, the iconic X-ray kill cam returns, rebuilt for VR. Watching the internal damage of a perfectly placed shot adds brutal spectacle to your precision. If anyone still doubts VR shooters, this list should settle it. From grounded realism to sci-fi horror, From slow burn tension to explosive firefights, these 11 games prove that solo FPS in VR has matured into something truly special. Each platform brings its own flavor, be it the wireless freedom of Quest, the haptic punch of PlayStation VR 2, or the visual fidelity of PCVR. Now it's your turn. Which one are you diving into first? And which one absolutely wrecked your nerves? Tell us in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.
No one left to tell us what to do. So tell me, tourist.